Welcome, everyone, to our Academic Affairs Town Hall. I have been looking forward to this for some time. Very excited to have the entire University of Arizona Global Campus community invited to a town hall. It is been some time in coming, and I apologize for it not happening earlier, but I'm excited that it's happening today. There are a lot of things we have to cover today and a limited amount of time to do it. So I'll try and be expeditious. Our agenda is to hear from me for a handful of minutes while I outline some of the more general issues of the University of Arizona Global Campus, and then to talk a lot more in detail about things that affect the academic side of the house. Thus, the title Academic Affairs Town Hall. I wanted to start by introducing myself. Some of you have gotten to know me, but I wanted to just give you a little bit of background about me and who I am and what I'm doing here. I started my career as a business lawyer. I have done trial work and transactional work for my early part of my career, but I became very involved in K-12 education. And I became really a volunteer in public schools in the city of New Orleans, where I'm from. And I quickly became an advocate for reform and transformation of old systems and structures, which, in my opinion, held teachers and administrators back from being effective. I ended up being recognized for this work and was asked to serve on the State Board of Education in Louisiana for 8 years, and later as the State Superintendent of Education for 4 years after Hurricane Katrina. And it was a turbulent time in the city of New Orleans and the state of Louisiana and the northern Gulf of Mexico and Mississippi as a result of that. But we made some real transformational changes in the way education is done here, and it's resulted in some terrific things for students and for outcomes for students in New Orleans and in Louisiana. I later moved into higher education and served as Chief Operating Officer and Chief Financial Officer of a medium-sized private university to turn around finances that it was facing, and also to address being placed on probation by its accreditor. Its accreditor was JAAC. I think because of this work, I was asked by the University of Arizona to lead the transition of Ashford University to becoming the University of Arizona Global Campus on December 1st, 2020, about 9 months ago. The new board of directors of the University of Arizona Global Campus asked me to serve as chief executive officer, I should say, of UAGC, and then later asked me to serve as president, and I took that position on February 8th, 2021, 6 months ago. I want to say that I'm very proud to be associated with this institution. I have met so many incredible people, so serious and so passionate about the work that we do to educate predominantly working class adults, or working adults, I should say, to become better for themselves and for their family and for their life. And I just enjoy every day working with the folks that I work with, meeting new people, new faculty, new staff. And I look forward to the time when we'll be able to get together in person and be able to meet each other and share stories and share our passions and our hopes and dreams for this university. I want to mention our incredible board of directors. We are very fortunate to have 5 independent directors on our board and 4 University of Arizona appointed directors on our board. First and foremost is Dr. Naveen Magahed, our board chair. She is the president of National Louis University in Chicago. She's been there for 10 years, very, very knowledgeable about the online space. They do a great deal of business in the online space, and she is a true expert in this area and is leading our board very well. I'll go across the board here, so to speak. Gail Bird is a vice provost at the University of Arizona. Gary Packard is one of the deans at the University of Arizona, particularly with a focus in military. He is a military background, and he does quite a bit of work with the students there in the military arena. Carrie Briggs, who comes from the K-12 world, she was the superintendent for the District of Columbia and worked in the Department of Education for a number of years. One of our independent board members. Dr. Lehman Benson is a business school or business college professor at the University of Arizona and specializes in diversity, equity, and inclusion in the business world. A wonderful gentleman. Dr. Mark Miller, who is the Dean of the College of Law at the University of Arizona, and he completes the 4th of the 4 U of A appointees to our board. Omar Vasquez is an alumnus of University of Arizona. Their law school, is a lawyer and works in the foundation world, but he does business work, acquisitions and other similar type work. Sean O'Keefe, who is presently the university professor at Syracuse University and formerly the chancellor of LSU. And then rounding out our board of directors is Ty Smith, a graduate of the University of Arizona Global's campus namesake, Ashford University. About 5 years ago, went on to get a business degree and now owns a technology company and has completed his first round of venture capital funding and is a wonderful human being and very smart, very capable, and a wonderful spokesperson for the student community and alumni community of the University of Arizona Global Campus. We have been working on a vision statement and a mission statement. The leadership team who you see on the panel here, and I want to acquaint you with a draft vision statement that we put together after a great deal of thought to empower every student, to support every student, to enrich every student, and graduate every student. We're very proud of the fact that we are saying we have a vision for every student. We strive to do the work that we do for every student so that they are empowered, supported, enriched, and they graduate. We are going to ask that all members of the UAGC community comment on this vision. We welcome your comments and thoughts. It's in draft form. We're going to be taking it to the board of directors at our upcoming board meeting on September 28th. We'll be discussing with them their thoughts on this, and we'd like to hear from you in the chat box in the today, or because we record that and keep track of it. And also, we're going to provide a link for you as well. Our mission statement is very preliminary. We haven't worked as much on this, but this is our working draft to be the premier global education provider for our students to achieve personal and professional success. This one, there's more work to be done, a lot more thought to be put into it, but we wanted to give you an idea of what we're thinking about, and again, give you an opportunity for maximum input. So please keep these two in mind. The next thing I want to tell you are our priorities at the university writ large. First of all is our human capital. We've built out a new cabinet, and I wanted to introduce you to these individuals. Most of them are on the screen in your panel box, but Sarah Steinberg is out of the office today. She's not live and in person, but she's shown here as my chief of staff. Jim Smith, who most of you know as our chief financial officer. Katie Shea holds the role now of chief operating officer. Tom Bourgeois, who comes to us from the University of Arizona. He was retiring and helping us in the transition. And he said he would like to really be a part of this organization. So we've picked him out of retirement. He was out of retirement for 3.5 minutes, I think. Tommy Screen, who served as general counsel for Loyola University in New Orleans. I met him there, and we've retained him as general counsel and chief legal officer for UAGC. Monique Cook, who I'm proud to say we just brought on board in the last 4 weeks. She is our vice president for human resources. We're very excited to fill out that position, and she has great plans for so many things we're looking forward to. And Dr. Iris Lafferty, as you know, is serving as our interim provost, chief academic officer, and our liaison with WASC. I want to mention a couple of other changes on human capital, but I'm going to save those for later because they will be mentioned later in the presentation. In the academic domain, I want to tell you that our priorities are as follows: to invest more in our faculty with a fair, more equitable model of compensating you, which we believe will reward our faculty for more students taught. This has actually been decided. We've finalized this plan. You're going to hear some about it today, but you'll be hearing a lot more about it in short order. We're going to invest more in our faculty by giving you better tools to support student retention. This is in place, but being adjusted every day. We're going to invest more in our faculty by relaunching internal funding for research grants that support our students' success. And we're going to invest more in our faculty by expanding professional development offerings to faculty that builds capacity in focus areas, including DEI, course development, and effective teaching practices. We're going to invest more in our courses to make more of them current and correct. We hear you loud and clear. There's work to be done, and we have begun to move the needle on that with our colleagues at Zovio. We're going to invest more in our course books and make more of them current and correct. And we're working with WASC to address our retention issues. We've adopted 2 large strategies effective July 1, a more significant mentoring effort for students through CHAMPS and embedded orientation of students in the first 2 quarters rather than a separate orientation. We've also begun to look at the intake process for students, and we're going to make changes. We've already made some changes. For example, that all students must complete their FAFSA before they start their new course. In the financial domain, our enrollment has dipped with the change in branding. The fact that we would dip was not unexpected. However, the duration of the dip was greater than we had anticipated. I think it's fair to say that we are economically stable. I think we are, as you can see, we've planned to make investments in the university going forward. So we do not believe that this will affect us. It has affected our colleagues at Zovio. They've had to make cost changes, but we are satisfied that those cost changes have not inured to our detriment. As I said, UAGC, I believe, is fine financially. We've significantly increased the size of the university budget this year to provide for the many new duties created by the spinoff of Ashford, and also to address underfunded parts of the university. We have a new oversight role with our colleagues at Zovio, and we're building that out with people and technology, and we will not be affected by any of the enrollment challenges in being able to execute on that. I want to close by just highlighting our priorities in simple statements. Number 1, and probably first and foremost, is the retention of our students. Equally important, growing and showcasing the skills of our faculty. And then building operations and processes that better equip us to work with Zovio in our new relationship. Being transparent. What you're going to find is if you have a question, we're going to answer it. We may not answer it in these sessions, but we have been making it a practice to answer every question that's put in writing to us. We put in writing back to you. We post them in the intranet, and they're available for your review. We've been doing that with our previous town halls, and we will turn around an answer to every question you post within 30 days of these convenings. And we're going to convene these meetings at least once a quarter. I will tell you, I'm really impressed with many questions that you have posed to us before this meeting. Very thoughtful, very important, will make us be clearer in what we do, but stand by. In 30 days, all of those questions, and there are well over 50 questions that have been posed already, we will respond to in writing and post it on the internet. And finally, we are working to build a culture of trust and respect. And I look forward to working with you. I look forward to hearing from you, and our team looks forward to working with you and hearing from you in order to do just that, to build a culture of trust and respect. Thank you for listening to me. I'm going to turn this over to Iris, and we have plenty more information we want to share with you. Dr. Lafferty.
Thank you, President Pasterek, for your opening remarks and those updates. And hello, UAGC. To the next slide, I will open our conversation by sharing that Dean Bob Doherty of the Forbes School of Business and Technology will be retiring in October 2021 following our virtual commencement. Bob has served our university for nearly 6 years, and Bob, we celebrate your work in seeing over 25,000 Forbes School of Business and Technology students graduate. We know that there you have mentored many. We thank you for being instrumental in poising UAGC for the international market. And we also very much thank you for championing UAGC's mission of service to students. Bob, I learned from you a while back that we should, with each and every colleague as they exit, meet them, greet them, so to speak, with as much alacrity as we do when they come in to the organization. So with that, we congratulate you and we wish you the very best at your next adventure. Thank you, Bob. And as departures are often met with mixed emotions, we say farewell to one colleague and we welcome another. And it is this case today. As Bob retires from his post, we welcome Dr. Maya Zelich into the role of Interim Dean of the Forbes School of Business and Technology. Maya is a Fulbright specialist, full professor, and a department chair of the Advanced Management Studies at Forbes. And she has a PhD in organizational management, an MBA, and a master's in org leadership and development. I'm pleased that Maya has accepted this challenge and this role and look forward to her leadership. Maya, you are now leading the charge for empowering, supporting, enriching, and graduating every student at the Forbes School of Business and Technology. Thank you, Forbes team, for your support in the leadership here. And I'd also like everybody to meet the rest of the Provost Leadership Cabinet. Next there on the screen, or on the slide rather, is Dr. Tony Farrell, Morgan Johnson, and Tricia Lauer. I'm going to keep the intros here brief because I've asked that each of these leaders present to you today highlights of work from their departments. What I would like to say, though, is I assure you that these are the leaders that daily attend to faculty and student needs. They assure the functionality of our academic systems. They lead those teams that are so integral to our work, and all the more they highlight the success of our faculty on a daily basis. So I thank all of the leaders here. On the next slide, integral to our work here at the university is our accreditation with the JAAC Senior College and University Commission. Essentially, this commission helps us to make sure that we maintain the core commitments to student learning and success, to quality improvement, and to our institutional integrity. For example, yesterday, cabinet members and leaders that several of which you see here spent time with our accreditation liaison leader, Dr. Oberg. He is the WASC Executive Vice President, and he spent the time with us to review the commission's feedback about an update that we provided to WASC last spring. The conversation centered upon student retention and how we as an institution working across the aisles can continue to improve our retention practices. And now, faculty, you are at the heart of helping to assure that our students learn, that our students successfully complete their courses, and that they graduate. You are at the front lines. And so we need you, and we'll be sharing your stories with WASC as we continue to report to them. You see the timeline here that we have. We have an opportunity to write out in conversation how we are attending to retention and other matters. And we also will be visiting with them in December. So I appreciate any feedback that you'd like to go ahead and provide to me. You can reach me via email. And it's my last update on the next slide, please. Given our affiliation with the University of Arizona, faculty, I've heard from you with great enthusiasm about how you're excited to look to opportunities to dialogue with campuses and that community, and how we might collaborate on programs. The Joint Academic Affairs Committee is charged with that, exploring academic partnerships and collaborations that offer mutual benefits for our two organizations, and that in accord with a joint affiliation agreement. We're keeping our input organized and thoughtful and strategic. It is by this channel by which the academic collaborations and partnerships will be recommended to both President Pastorek and President Robbins' offices. So the representatives you see listed on the slide here, JAAC is co-chaired by myself, as well as Dr. Craig Wilson, who is Vice Provost of Online and Distance Education at the University of Arizona. And I have selected the representatives that you see there in match to a group from the campus itself. Our next meeting in September, this group will address building an intake system, more specifically a website from which we can go ahead and facilitate conversations and ideas from the faculty. So thank you for your patience and your support. It is with great enthusiasm that I look to the JAAC and also look forward to hearing your input. And on the next slide, I turn our conversation in academics over to Tricia Lauer.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to share with you some updates related to curriculum and assessment. Course quality is an essential consideration in the instructional design process. However, as we all know, quality can be a very abstract concept. Two different individuals may look at the same course and have differing opinions of its quality. For example, how can you compare the quality of a nursing course to an English literature course? To make the idea of quality more concrete and measurable across courses, a group of faculty and academic leaders have established a set of criteria that will now be included as part of all our courses. UAGC standard course design quality elements are a valuable component to instructional design because they provide specific benchmarks and requirements to guide faculty and other stakeholders supporting the course development process as they consider which resources, assets, activities, and assessments should be used to further engage students in their learning and support positive student outcomes. They will help guide faculty and staff and identify needed improvements within our courses and programs, and these standards will ensure consistency in both faculty expectations and the student experience. Another outcome of the standard course elements is that we can hone in on the individual criteria that are most valuable to us at UAGC and that we wish to be universally reflected in our courses. Importantly, these standards will result in focused course revisions. Established requirements regarding course quality will help us identify specific areas for improvement within courses and programs and provide direction on how to address those items. This leads me to my second update, which is that we are moving forward with a significantly increased volume of course revisions across both colleges. There has been an ongoing concern voiced by our full-time and associate faculty and recognized need to be more responsive to providing students with current, relevant, and up-to-date course content. In addition, the 2019 WASC visiting team articulated this as an area for us to remedy in their report. Thanks to our faculty, department chairs, and our academic leaders for creating a roadmap for all courses to be revised on a 3-year cadence, starting with this year. This is a huge win for our students, and we should all be very excited for the enhanced learning opportunities and environment this will provide. Now that we are about to cross the finish line with the course revision schedule for 2021-2022, plans to move forward with the diversity, equity, and inclusion course audit rubric are accelerating. Members of the CETL team have created a training for those individuals who will be reviewing courses as part of the audit process, which we are ready to distribute to all academic stakeholders. For context, this rubric holds a very unique position in higher education, as few other institutions have undergone such a large-scale initiative to ensure equitable opportunities for all students to master their learning outcomes vis-a-vis an in-depth course review. This has been an extremely collaborative endeavor, starting with the rubric development team, which was comprised of both full-time and associate faculty, as well as staff. Moving on to receiving support from the Curriculum and Assessment Steering Committee, Doctoral Advisory Committee, Faculty Council, and the Change Advisory Group. Courses which have already undergone the audit have been revised based on findings from their audits. Data from these audits is being collected and will be tracked to ensure close alignment with the UAGC standard course design components. Finally, as part of our commitment to learning outcomes at all degree levels, I would like to provide an update on our institutional learning outcomes, ILO, assessment progress. All of you played a key role in the development of our ILOs, and the Curriculum and Assessment Steering Committee, CASC, is in the process of assessing 2 ILOs specifically related to critical thinking and written communication, ILOs 1 and 2. The assessment team is pulling waypoint data related to these outcomes from student work. In addition, the ETS proficiency profile, which is an external assessment, has been administered in entry point and capstone courses across both colleges. These findings will provide us with data which we can benchmark against peer institutions in our WASC accrediting body, as well as other institutions which serve a similar population. Finally, the CASC is conducting a 3rd assessment of student work from capstones and evaluating them using the AAC and U value rubrics. By triangulating these data, we will be able to determine areas of strength as well as opportunities for improvement specifically related to critical thinking and written communication. The fun then begins as we will all have the opportunity to move the needle on how to best improve instruction, strengthen curricula, and create effective academic policies aimed at ensuring improved student outcomes. Thank you. Now I'd like to turn it over to Morgan.
Thank you so much, Tricia. Good morning, everyone. Very excited to be here with you and have some updates in regards to our faculty compensation model. Tay, if you can go to the next slide, thank you. As President Pasterek mentioned earlier, one of the most exciting updates, I think anyways personally, today is the fact that we are on the verge of rolling out the first major update to our associate faculty compensation model in, I would say, about 15 years. We have engaged in a comprehensive 2-year analysis of our model, which has included review of external competitors and gathering faculty feedback internally. And as you heard earlier, there are some gaps we've identified specifically as it relates to compensating faculty based on their course size and student enrollment. Additionally, based on the fact that we have many of you tenured 10 plus years at the institution and have taught over 100 courses for us. And so our goal with this first phase of our implementation really is to address those 2 gaps in particular and ensure that we have a compensation system in place that we can continue to improve upon. So we are excited to roll out first to our full-time faculty and lead faculty members that you all meet with on a regular basis over the next few weeks this new compensation model. Brian Aylward is going to actually post a link here in the chat shortly. That includes a form a feedback form, that we'd like to collect questions, comments, and just general thoughts on the compensation model from you all. We are preparing a comprehensive communication plan and want to ensure that we are effectively communicating these changes out. In addition to upcoming meetings and communications, we will be hosting office hours over about a 2-month period as we implement these changes to answer any questions that you might have in real time. For those of you who are actively teaching right now, the compensation model will go live on October 5th for courses that start at that time and after. So please feel free to reach out with any questions and ideas ahead of time. I do want to give a shout out and just a big thank you to Brian Aylward and his leadership, and to our deans in particular, who have been part of this process since the beginning and really have helped to shape what our new compensation model looks like. Tay, if you want to go to the next slide. Another great investment President Pastrick mentioned earlier was the relaunch of our University Fellows program. So this is the first time in about a 2-year funding period that we will launch funding for faculty research. The request for proposals opens this Friday, so please feel free to start talking with your college fellow, Dr. Pamela Murphy for College of Arts and Sciences, or Dr. Murad Abel for Forbes School of Business and Technology on ideas or questions that you might have. We are hosting information sessions for our full-time faculty this week who will serve as principal investigators for any of the proposals submitted, but truly the UFP program is open to all staff and associate faculty members. So please collaborate with your full-time faculty partners and feel free to submit submissions across institutional departments and colleges. We're very excited to see what type of proposals we receive this year. In particular, we will be hearing at the college information sessions from some of our full-time faculty who have recently participated in external sessions around high impact practices. So we are looking to fund high impact practice research as a priority funding area this year. So very excited, more to come. So definitely please attend these upcoming information sessions. Tay, if you want to go to the next email. Another kind of exciting fall event is our virtual fall commencement this year. As many of you probably noticed, we were disappointed not to hold commencement in person, but wanted to ensure the health and safety of our graduates, their families, and our faculty and staff was the most important. So we are holding a virtual commencement on Sunday, October 10th at 10 a.m. Similar to the last 3 commencement ceremonies, we will be holding Zoom celebrations throughout the week leading up to commencement with our full-time faculty at the program level, hosting sessions with graduates and their families. So be on the lookout for faculty invites from your colleges and programs. Additionally, this fall, we are recognizing our doctoral graduates in a hooding ceremony and a poster session that really does a great job highlighting the research of our doctoral graduates. A big shout out to Haley Passner, to Peggy Sundstrom, and all of the faculty involved in shaping these events this upcoming commencement. And certainly last but not least, our 7th annual Teaching and Learning Conference is coming up this November. Dr. Teresa Kierk has been leading these efforts. And if you want to go to the next slide, Tay, we have over 100 panel discussions and individual presentations that have been submitted both by our internal associate and full-time faculty members and staff, as well as from external institutions representing 18 different organizations outside of UAGC. So we're incredibly excited about programming as it's coming together this year. Our registration does open next month, and we encourage you all not only to attend, but to invite your external networks to this particular event. And Tay, if you want to go to the last slide. As you've heard, we are looking at strong partnerships with University of Arizona. So we are excited to welcome Dr. Liesl Folks, University of Arizona Provost, and Ivy Banks, Associate Vice Provost of Diversity and Inclusion from University of Arizona Both will serve as keynote presentations at this upcoming TLC. Equally as excited, we will be welcoming Dr. Jennifer Engel, Deputy Director of Data from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and a big thanks to Robert Dougherty for making the connection for us. We will also be welcoming Dr. Karen Sibley, who is Dean of Professional Studies at Brown University. I'm going to shout out to Sarah Steinberg, who's not here today, for making this connection for us. So we have a great lineup of presentations and keynotes and hope to see everyone there. And with that, I will hand things over to Dr. Maya Zelich for updates from Forbes School of Business and Technology.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. I would like to echo Dr. Lafferty's words and thank Dean Dougherty for his years of leadership, guidance, and mentorship. I speak not only on behalf of Forbes School of Business and Technology, but also UAGC community as a whole. He will be certainly missed, and we wish him all the best. We have chose to highlight a few things that are currently happening with the Forbes School of Business and Technology. And a very exciting thing is our Forbes School of Business and Technology Thought Leader Summit. Our theme is recharging the workforce. The purpose of this particular event is for the attendees to gain industry insights and perspective. We have both in-person and virtual panels, and we will have Steve Forbes, our Board of Advisor member, as the keynote. Speakers will be from the top companies, including Forbes Media, Walt Disney World, Ernst & Young, Comcast, NBC Universal, Korn Ferry. October 12, 2021, starting at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, we will have an all-day virtual and in-person event. Target audience will be business and thought leaders. And October 26, 2021, we will actually showcase the virtual events from the main live event. Target audience for that particular session will be our UAGC students. Another segment of exciting news is International Accreditation Council for Business Education approved the following new UAGC programs at their July 21st, 2021 meeting: BA in Marketing, BS in Information Technology, MS in Finance, and MS in Technology Management. I would like to thank Dr. Jorge Cardenas for both leading the efforts when it comes to the Thought Leader Summit and also leading the efforts when it comes to IACBE accreditation. On the next slide, we have our Center for Women's Leadership. And for those of you that are still not familiar with some of the scope of its activities, Center for Women Leadership has its main mission to provide a community for networking and professional development and to make recommendations to organizational practices through existing and novel research. We are focusing on community support through mentoring, community chats, newsletters, social media blogs, leadership development through speakers, panels, workshops, assessment, courses, and certificates, and research and application, thought leadership research, partnerships, awards, philanthropy, and internship. On the next slide, we will have some upcoming exciting events in September and October. Those of you who are not engaged with our Center for Women Leadership, Dr. Jenny Walker is the chair of the Center for Women Leadership. Feel free to get in touch with us, jenny.walker@uagc.edu, and she would like to hear your thoughts, because every single month we have 3 different set of events. We do have community chats, we have the main panel, and we also have different interesting workshops. So some of the things that we would like to highlight when it comes to September, we actually have a fireside chat with Kate Johnson, and she is Olympic medalist, and she's going to talk to us about the women in sports and also how sports impacts motivation and future leadership skills when it comes to women leaders. We also have community chats that we are offering to UAGC community as a whole and also the CWL members. And we would like to invite all of you to actually submit something pertaining to your talent, because we have UAGC Got Talent submission that is due September 19th. So students, faculty, staff members, CWL members, please partake in those exciting activities. So on behalf of Forbes School of Business leadership team that includes Dr. Karen Ivey, Dr. Jorge Cardenas, Dr. Katie Theory, and also Dr. Ray Powers, we would like to thank you for your time and thank you again for attending this town hall. With that, I would like to turn it over to Dr. Tony Farrell, who's the interim dean of the College of Arts and Sciences.
Thanks, Maya. Next slide. Perfect. Just good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are accessing this webinar. I'm Tony Farrell. I am the interim dean for the College of Arts and Sciences. Also currently hold the position of department chair for the Department of Education and Liberal Arts. For those of you who teach and work within the College of Arts and Sciences, I wanted to give you an opportunity to see and put a face to a name of your leadership team. Dr. Yvonne Lozano is our department chair for the Department of Health Sciences. Dr. Barbara Zorn-Arnold is the department chair for Department of Behavior Sciences. Dr. Jennifer Vogel is associate director for the Academic Engagement Center. And Dr. Mingjin Bao is our another associate director for the Academic Engagement Center. Next slide. So I've asked each of the departments to give a brief update that I will share with you. I won't read through each of these slides. I'll just highlight a couple of sections. One of the big pieces of our Academic Engagement Center is they are tasked with really connecting and onboarding our students as they come into the institution. So one of their pillars and a mission statement for them is to create a sense of community and connection through enhanced new student onboarding experience. And so they do this through a number of initiatives, and several are just launching, and a couple have been mainstays in the AEC over a period of time. So currently, we have started to embed weekly synchronous welcome sessions with program of study leaders throughout the institution, and that happens in ASH 101 and Business 105. A significant change that we have gone through over the last several months, and it was one of the initiatives that Paul emphasized earlier in his presentation, is that we are pivoting away from having a orientation for students before coming into the institution. So we are orientating 100% of our students within the courses, our first two courses in CAS, which is ASH 101 and Gen 103. Currently in Gen 103, we have a required live learning session that happens for students. It pivots between a Wednesday and Friday every other week. And our hope is that what we learn in these live learning sessions will be able to inform us and help us scale into other undergraduate and graduate courses. We've also pivoted from a UAGC honors college to a UAG honors program, which we hope will really rally more students to be participants. And a key component of that is that we are asking faculty to mentor our honors college students. And additionally, we want our honors college students to mentor our new students, incoming students, as part of the CHAMPS program. We're also emphasizing and leveraging our signals technology within our first two courses and putting forth a specific action plan in how faculty can use signals within these courses, and will also inform us on further initiatives using signals to come. Very exciting news to come, and I won't share that today, but leveraging signals is going to be a big part of that. Here's another exciting piece that Mingjin and Jen are doing within the AEC, is they are leveraging our relationship with Franklin Covey to really support the development of our full-time faculty through productivity training, through trust building climate and culture. And Franklin Covey has been a great partner to UAGC over the years, and very excited that they are leveraging the training available for our full-time faculty. And then additionally, the center leads a professional development opportunity, Get Centered, and this happens monthly, excuse me. Next slide. Okay, so within the Department of Education and Liberal Arts, I just wanted to point out quickly that we just concluded last week our 2021 ECE conference. I won't go over this infographic specifically, other than to say that 1,203 unique users logged in. They attended over 1,100 sessions, and we awarded 1,055 PD hours through their attendance. This is a tremendous undertaking. It takes great planning. It takes networking to get our great keynotes and presenters to come and present over a 3-day period. And so I want to thank specifically Doctors Tisha Shipley, Stephanie Hill, and Allison Reef, and the whole ECE team for their work in putting on this conference. I remember 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, when Dr. Shipley and Hill came to me and asked about the possibility of putting on an ECE conference. And I, in essence, I just move things out of the way and let them do great work. And over the years, this conference has gotten better and better, and we keep attracting more participants, and our keynote speakers are amazing. And so I'm going to ask one of our team to put a link to our ECE virtual learning community in the chat. And so with this link, you'll be able to have access to not only this conference, but we also have a podcast that is linked through there, and a YouTube channel and other resources. And I will tell you that if you are an early childhood educator, you will find something of use that can help support your teaching in the classroom and supporting your students. So well done, ECE team. Next slide. And then in Department of Behavioral Sciences, some of the highlights. So Dr. Zorna Arnold has really focused in on servicing our students in doctoral programs over the first part of this year, to include professional development for our methodological readers and dissertation chairs, embedding diversity, equity, and inclusion training and certification into some of the training that goes into developing our MRs and chairs. We've also participated in faculty volunteer trauma intervention training, and then faculty research leadership for AERA. So as far as student support is concerned, we are really focusing on research and project coaching within this group, helping support our leaders to support our students as they go through the doctoral process. And then finally, what I would say, actually not finally, I want to highlight two other areas for Dr. Zorna Arnold's department, is that we have started to have our full-time faculty support students as chairs, and they're chairing 30 students currently, and have reviewed more than 200 proposals and final manuscripts. And so great job leveraging our full-time faculty. And then finally, this is really exciting for me, as we have students who struggle to complete their dissertation and finish their doctoral work. We have started to create a process where students can exit gracefully from the institution. And so we awarded our first master's in psychology degree to a student who couldn't quite get over the hump to finish their dissertation, which is great for the student, great for the institution. And so as we continue to focus on supporting students in the doctoral process to get them to complete their degree, there is a pathway for them if they can't finish. So that's exciting. Next slide. So Dr. Yvonne Lozano, who chairs our Department of Health Sciences, highlights that we are moving forward with our Master's in Public Health and seeking Council for Education of Public Health accreditation, which is really good work, hard work, and will really add to the value of our degree. Launching 2 Masters of Public Health certificates. We have a Master's of Science and Nursing program launching in October of this year, which is going to provide another pathway for our students and supporting students in some of our partnerships. Dr. Sherry Liu was appointed to a Universal Conference Institute for Global Scientific and Academic Learned Society Advisory Board. Congratulations, Sherry. And then finally, Department of Health and Health Sciences faculty, their partnership with Blue Cross Blue Shield in their federal employee program They presented the art of resiliency, how the pandemic changed our life at work. And so with that being said, that concludes my presentation, but I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Bob Dougherty. Bob has been a tremendous colleague and friend over the years and a great mentor, and we will miss him dearly within the institution, and certainly look forward to hearing about all of the exciting adventures that he will no doubt undertake after he retires in October. And certainly excited to work with Maya as well as the interim dean for the Forbes School of Business and Technology. That being said, I believe I'm turning it over to William Woods. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, and good day to all of you. I want to talk to you just a little bit about our faculty council, give you a couple updates there. You know, our faculty council back in June, we had our elections, which was really good. And in each of our elections, committee members came on in our 3 committees, and they also came on in our faculty council. And what's great about our faculty council is that we have 2 co-chairs. One is our academic dean, and then the other one is faculty member. And underneath that, we actually have 15 council members that are full-time faculty members, and then we also have 7 associate faculty members. And what's great about those 7 associate faculty members is that in our old governance model before we were growing and updated, we only had 1 to 2 associate faculty members. So now the associate faculty member voice has been expanded on the faculty council, which is great. And then when you also add in our 3 committees, it gets even better because we have 27 full-time faculty members total, and then also 16 associate faculty members. And I wanted you to know also that our promotion advisory committee, which meets every month, currently we just got in our new set of applications, which we're excited about being able to look at those rank promotion applications. And that's the second time we've had rank promotion assessments this year. We always have assessments in March. On March 15th, we have set our deadline for receiving applications, and then also for August 15th. And so now we're on our second set. And want you to know another thing is that our doctoral advisory committee, they wanted to tell you that they meet also every month, and that they been working on applied doctoral project development updates for the dissertation handbook and doctoral research chair, and also rubric for the institutional quality review process, or IQR process, and creation of a common enterprise of required and credit-bearing doctoral orientation project. And so that covers what we are up to in the faculty council. So once again, I want to go ahead and welcome all of our new council members. And if you want to stay updated about what we do in the faculty council, please visit the faculty council CETL page. And if you ever have questions about the faculty council or our committees, please contact the faculty council at uagc.edu as our email address. And that covers my report.
Sorry about that. Thank you for that, William. I apologize, I was on mute there. We're going to wrap this up on time. Let me just say, there's so much more to say. Like, we're launching the first international course and program on October 1st of this year. We've got big plans in that area, so stand by. I was reflecting on this as we were going through this today, of the amazing people that we have leading the organization. And they demonstrated that completely today in their presentations. I'm so proud to be associated with them. I'm so proud to be associated with you. I especially am proud of the initiative that our faculty take to work with our students. I'll just simply say, we had an event this weekend which was directed at a group of students. I was so enthralled and inspired by this conference that was put on this weekend. It's just amazing what we do, and the students who participated in this conference blew me away. Thank you all for everything you do. We appreciate you. We hope that we can meet your expectations to support you in the work you do. Thank you for this, for attending this conference, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.